going back to like long trips. So my first trip I ever took was to Lake Gaston, and before I had this bike, I had a Honda Ruckus, 49cc. 50cc is considered a motorcycle, at least for the United States, where you have to have a motorcycle license endorsement. And I took it from my house to Lake Gaston, where my captain at the time had a house, had a cabin, and just visited or whatever. And I remember, look at this perfect landing strip for me. What do we got? Motorcycles use extreme caution. Oop, let's get back on the strip. Looks like they made it just for me. Figure out what's going on here. 1 lane road ahead. Alright. Please stand by. Oh shit. Damn. Yeah, alright. The brakes are good. Well, I might be here for a little bit. So apparently that guy that passed me, I think he chose wisely. Alright. Man, this might be a long wait. We'll put this thing in neutral. I gotta like switch batteries like a pit crew, like a NASCAR pit crew. Damn, my hands are a little cold. So Lake Gaston, I took the Honda Ruckus there, and gotta get the snot sickle out. I remember fueling up, and it was like a couple dollars. I got McDonald's breakfast before I got fueled up, and I kept stopping on all these like awnings and stuff, and of course it was raining then too. I remember like hiding under a tree in a graveyard at my buddy's house. Like my buddy's like I guess neck of the woods. It wasn't his. They didn't have a neighborhood because he lives out in the country. But all these like there's so many like memorable events there, and that was a trip that I took. Like I put it on bicycle mode, which got me about 90% of the way. It wanted me to go in like somebody's backyard in the woods one time, so I was like I had to find a different route there. But I was in and out of signal. What else? There's a lot. There's a big story. There's a story on that, and I might venture down that road again and talk about that, or maybe during one of my lives I'll just kind of go over it or something. That's probably more likely. It was a lot of fun. I've never done anything like that before. Man, these brakes are good. I've never done anything like that before. Oh yeah, and having new tires helps out a lot. I remember getting these tires and I was like, oh my god, like it feels like I'm gripping the road now. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? But yeah, we're gonna be here for a little bit. Like I really could change the batteries, but I'm good. Essentially, I spent more on breakfast than I did for fuel there and back to Lake Gaston. Like I said, over 100 miles. The Honda Ruckus was getting like, oh, there we go. Nice. Wait for the green. I say green. Yellow, wait for the yellow. I've been waiting for a long time. But it advertised at the time, I'm sure it's probably still about the same, 125 miles per gallon. I wasn't getting that. I was overweight for it. Yeah, slightly overweight. Shoot, I was like 230, somewhere around there. I'm about that right now, 225, 230. But it was always funny. Like I remember I was so nervous about that trip. I wasn't I was nervous about a couple things, I guess, but the thing I was the most nervous about was running out of fuel. So I stopped at like so many gas stations on the way. It only got to like 38, 40 miles an hour. It had 45 on the speedometer, and I wish I kept it. I ended up riding that for about a month, I almost said a year. I ended up riding that for about a month to Final Destination. Anytime you see a bunch of logs being carried, I always think of Final Destination. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, ooh, hold it back, that shiver. Hold it back. You gotta tighten up and don't let that shiver. Your body's trying to warm up. You don't have time for that. All right, let's get out of here. The good news is, if there is a cop, once again, my buddy that passed me will occupy his time. Since he's way up here, he'll be already getting a ticket by the time I pass him. But that was such a fun experience. I felt like you could feel like being governed. because I remember going downhill, and you could feel, I always talk about, like, you know, it felt like someone was tugging on Superman's cape, because you wouldn't be allowed to, like, go over, obviously governed, but you could feel it, like, not letting you go any faster downhill. And I was like, oh man, just give me a little bit, just give me a little bit. But it was a lot of fun. It took like 4 hours to get there, and it's like a 2-hour trip. My GPS ends up cutting off and I don't realize it. Ooh, second gear. Now let's dive into, like, I talk about my prep work with the motorcycle, I'll talk about my prep work with the cameras, the batteries, getting more familiar with the, the lav mic, the equipment, camera equipment. Now having a discussion about last night. Oh my God. I tell you what, my invincibility cheat was wearing off. My wife's been sick for like 2 weeks, and last night I kind of felt like I was like, oh man, I might be getting sick, because I've had a really, I've had a really good streak, a mean streak right here. Well, there's a pun. The mean streak, Lucky Ace's second motorcycle, or additional motorcycle, the mean streak. But I had a pretty good mean streak going on where I haven't been sick. And I felt like my throat being a little scratchy. I was like, I told her, she goes, uh-oh, no, don't say that. And I was like, uh-oh, what's, you know, perfect timing. Well, like, last night I couldn't sleep. My phone, or my watch, I wear my watch to bed every night. But every once in a while I have a hard time sleeping. My mind's like racing. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm thinking about a lav mic. I'm thinking about, like, last night, I'm in bed. It's after midnight. Got my alarm set for 7, plenty of time. I'm gonna get there plenty of time. We're scheduled to meet up at 11:30, but I'll be there before 11. Even with stops and all that stuff, I'm sure I'll be there before then. But I was like non-stop just thinking about everything. It was like to the point where, like, I got a new license, driver's license renewal, and I have to forward it to them since mine expired, or was going to expire. It did, and I got it renewed and everything on time. I'm valid, I promise. But like, that was in my head. I was like, I need to send that email, and I'm like, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I took some Tums because I felt like I was getting like a reflux, and it was all kinds. It was just a mess. And I got no sleep. I think I slept, well, I should say no sleep. I probably slept for like an hour, maybe combined. That's no joke. Like, my watch doesn't even register me sleeping. That's how bad it was. So I'm trying to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say that I got an hour of sleep, just because I was so excited about this trip. And to do this, there's so many good things about this. Oh, I gotta slow down a little bit. Here we go. This is where it goes. It goes from like 50 to 35. Nothing to see here. I'm gonna get a ticket. I know I am. It's gonna be for the inspection. I'm gonna go past somebody. They're gonna be looking right at my fork, my left fork, and see it. And you know what? I deserve it. I deserve it. Whatever you're gonna give me, I'll take. I'll gladly take. I deserve it. Can you get multiple tickets in the first day, in the same day? Like, I've already got a ticket. I already got one. County. This reminds me of my little... Oop. Don't panic. Nobody panic. So no sleep, gang. I'm here. I'm just gonna punch through it. I got a couple monsters and I'll get something to eat. I didn't even eat breakfast. I can feel that heat a little bit. I tell you, that is nice. So, like, I mean, riding a motorcycle, I mentioned before, like, you get to use all your senses and stuff. Like in a car, you're just, you know, you're stuck in a climate control. And I say stuck. Most people don't even bat an eye, and they wouldn't have it any other way. Roll the windows up because it's too hot and crank the AC. But, you know, being able to feel the sun, the wind, the cold, the hot, the rain, smell the rain coming, or right after it rained off the, you know, summer pavement. This is different. Very, very different. You either get it or you don't. One of those things. But obviously not everybody wants to ride. Oh, look at that. Oh no, it's EMS. Oh, there's a cop though. That's one left. That's one less I have to worry about. The funny thing about not getting any sleep is I actually took yesterday off. I lined it up so I was on a medic on a Sunday. Next shift was yesterday on Wednesday. I actually took the day off because I wanted to make sure that I got some sleep for this trip. And I would have got quite a bit more sleep, I'm sure. I didn't even look at what happened. At 1 o'clock in the morning, they didn't have a call. So I was like thinking to myself this morning, I literally could have gone to work and got more sleep. But instead, here I am, chewing on Tums at 3 in the morning. But yeah, I don't know if I finished. Of course I did finish that. I feel like infinitely better. So, but the cheat code is still on. I'm still going. I'm still good. I feel like I gotta pull over because I don't remember this lady saying that it had like 30 miles yet. But I'm pretty sure I was going through Murfreesboro. So let's just chance it. Ooh. You can feel those shadows. Ooh, man. Look at that sun. Look at that big ass spider. I have no idea how I'm gonna make this video. These episodes. I think going back to it is gonna be it'll probably be a little bit longer. But I think this documenting this journey, and that's the thing about YouTube. I mentioned before, like YouTube is you know, it's your own autobiography, or it can be, and that's kind of how I'm treating it too. Oh, this could be it. This could be it. Oh, Sheriff. No. Oh, baby. This could be it. So the funny thing about that is, I was telling Lucky, I was like, before we do this ride, things I got to do, like new tires, for example. Obviously, I was thinking about state inspection, and that's my own fault for not getting that done. But I also don't want to, it's literally a day, but I didn't want to like be without my bike. I was without my bike for like 3 weeks when I was getting my tires done. Can I give the old shake test? And you guys say, oh yeah, she ain't going anywhere. Even think about like another day, I was just like, nah, I'm good. And I literally could have been like, if I was smart, once again, if I was smart, I just could tell you all the dumb things I do. I got plenty of time. I got an hour this way and then another 2 hours back home eventually. 2.5 hours back home. So, all the dumb things I did. But they could have literally just inspected the bike too. What's one more day, right? But I was just so ready to have the bike back.
23 days without a ride, 23 days too many. Today, it's time to fix that.
Finally, the bike has come back to the channel. Look at these things right here. Just look at it. Just look at it. That looks like a new tire. What do we got over here? Damn, that looks like a new tire too. There's no hole in it. Imagine that. Oh my God, I've missed this thing. 45. Man, this is nice. A Husky. Yep. It's another one. We got a bunch of farmers, and we got a guy from Husky in Murfreesboro. Both those guys actually were in my academy, which is pretty cool. 55. But I can't imagine traveling this far. Go to work, I'd be up all night, and then come back home just to do it again the next day. We got to work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Monday, 24 hours. And if you're up all night Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, it's like, I don't know how these guys make it home without taking a nap. Pulled over on the side of the road. I'll give it another 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes, and I'll switch the battery out, and I'll make sure I'm in the right path, because I want to respect his time. If I get lost, that's one thing, but I've got an engagement that I need to make sure. Is that Rufus? Did that say Rufus? Something about mobile home or something? We in the country, baby. Going back to topic at hand. Lucky Aces, Ryde, Lucky Aces, Lucky. He's got 3 names. But going back to that, I mentioned about one of my goals was, to get out of my comfort zone and to go to meetups, go to meets, whether it's a dealership or it's a someone that does YouTube videos, motovlogs and stuff, that goes to the meets. Ride with somebody else, because I ride solo. I rode solo 99.9%. I haven't rode with anybody since the first year I got the bike. So this will be the first time in 8 years essentially that I've rode with somebody. And the guy I rode with first was how I learned how to ride a motorcycle was when I had the ruckus at the same time frame. During that month, I was riding Honda CBR 600 RR. So go figure, like, not riding anything and learning how to ride, just learning how to shift gears. So I stayed in like first, second, third gear, nothing crazy fast. As far as like my speed that I was doing, I think I got to like 30 miles an hour. I was like, man, this is awesome. Shifting is like completely different as far as like the on a CBR sports bike, obviously, like where it is, like mid controls or forward controls on a cruiser. These were like kind of tucked behind you and stuff. You're tucked more into the bike, obviously. And very appreciative of him letting me just like, hey, learn how to ride on his bike. But I rode with him, and he was just kind of like hanging out. I mean, he was probably in first, I know he was in first gear or second gear, riding around with me, and I'm in like fourth gear, so pretty funny. And I remember like I went to his house after we were riding around or whatever, and I went to his house and I was leaving, and he said, hey man, I'll take you to the interstate. I said, all right, cool, man. So he gets me in a direction, gets to the interstate. I gave him the thumbs up, like I knew where I was, I'm good to go. And then he like just fucking zipped. I had to drop the F-bomb on that, because it was that fast, man. It was crazy. He was just gone, and I thought I was like going fast. He gets to the turn, does a U-turn, and comes all the way back and zips past me on the opposite direction of traffic. And I was like, what was that? So here I was thinking I was getting it, man. I was like up to speed, fifth gear, flying down the road, maintaining speed limit, of course. And he just zips by me, goes to the end, does a U-turn, and zips by me again. I was like, what? And then like 30 seconds later, I get to the like interstate, and I was like, good God, that bike's fast, very fast. All right, 6 miles. All right, I feel good now. She talked to me again. All right, we are going the right way. With my goals being to ride with somebody else, this is absolutely perfect. Another thing I was talking about was going to meets, and it was funny because I had the conversation. He was asking about, hey, let's meet up and let's do this, let's podcast, let's ride around, let's do, whatever. And I mentioned to him, I said, this is actually one of the things I was actually planning on doing, like as far as my goals. But I actually had you in mind. I wanted to do or go to meetups, and not necessarily my own meetup, because I don't have a following like that, and especially I don't have people in my area that I know of that are in my area, my neck of the woods, that would like come to a meetup. And I mean, like, a few people, quite a few people or whatever. So I even mentioned, I addressed it in the video. I was like, I want to go to somebody else's meetup and not like overshadow it. I want to be a part of their meetup. You know what I mean? Makes sense? I'm saying, like, you know what I mean, to a video that I can't talk to. So yeah, I guess this is like alive now. So I told him, I was like, you're who I was talking about as far as meetups and potentially to ride with somebody else. And it's not my comfort zone, because I enjoy like the solo ride. And the reason for that is necessarily not against anybody, but the same thing is like the gym. I like to work out by myself, because I want to do, what I want to do, and not have to worry about somebody else's workout routine or having to wait on somebody else. And I can get in, dip out, one of those things. I don't mind working out with somebody else, but I would kind of prefer it. So the same thing about riding. I've rode by myself for all these years, because I just want to ride, and like I said, like I was talking about this, if I get lost, it's no big deal. Now, you know, now I have a time crunch. You know, I'm in my head last night. I'm sleeping, or not sleeping. I'm the opposite of sleeping. I'm wide awake, trying to sleep, and you know, if it's any other day, I could be like, all right, I'm not going. But obviously, this is the whole point of the trip, was to meet up and stuff. So, very thankful and appreciative of this opportunity, because I think it's going to be fun. It opens up, you know, gets me out of my comfort zone, and it's one of the things I wanted to do. So I told him, I was like, a little bit ago, I told him, I said, you know, you had these meetups, because he's had 2 meetups, and you know, and the meetup go right around, but I think it was like 10 a.m. and it was in Raleigh. And for me, I was working one of the days, I couldn't do it. And the other one, I get off at 7 a.m. I wouldn't be able to make it in time, not, you know, by 10 a.m. So I didn't even say anything as far as, you know, like actual, like, hey, you know, I can't make it. You know, I didn't want anything to like have to, even if he like changed the time, like if that was a thing, I wasn't going to have him do that, one of those deals. And I wouldn't have asked him to, and I wouldn't want to insinuate it, anything like that. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this, because it's, you know, it counts as a meetup for me in my own head. It counts as you know, riding with somebody else, obviously, and I got to think about that, like riding with somebody else. Like, I think there was like a reel or a meme or something. It's like what it feels like to ride, you know, motorcycles together, and it showed like Top Gun or something, you know, two fighter jets, like, you know, in formation, like flying through the, you know, flying through the sky and all that stuff together and stuff, and when everybody else sees 2 motorcycles, they don't bat an eye. But you know, I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. And another thing too is, it's kind of funny. I remember I'm trying to equate it to something like, well, I will, you know, watch football. So boom, go back to football. Watching the Redskins for as long as I have, and then going to my first football game and seeing the players in person, you know, as they're warming up, like up close and personal. The Norfolk Tides, they're like a AAA team. They're the farm team for the Baltimore Orioles. You know, it's seeing the players, like, you know, right there, and it's like, for some reason, it's not like, I don't want to say like awestruck, or like, you know, like, I don't know. It was just weird seeing. I can't explain it too much, other than like, it was just different. And I think the same thing with Lucky. I've seen his videos for years now, and he's the first person that, as far as a motovlog, that I watched that had a Honda Shadow. He's the very first person. And so I've been following him for, you know, since I started the channel, probably, so, you know, for 3 years or something. And I think he's mentioned the other day, I'll find out, but he's been doing it for 3.5 years, so, you know, 6 months. Oop. All right. Sorry, my voice is again. But I'm pretty sure that he said that he's been doing it for 3.5 years, so about a half a year more than me, as far as the motovlogs and stuff. And doing a better job than me too, I might say, if I do say so myself. But no, it's just gonna be funny, like seeing him in person. Like I've seen his videos, and yeah, I guess he got that celebrity status. There you go. Yeah. Quit beating around the bush. All right, rolling right. No, I think it's gonna be funny, because it's just you know, watching his videos and actually like talking to him in person and riding together. I think it's gonna be something pretty fun for the not even just for the channel. I'm talking about just for me. 25 miles, good lordy. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. I'm actually gonna pull over here and change the batteries out. What is this place? It's a library. They're not gonna let me in. Oh, it's a government center, the courthouse. Let's go up a little further. Let's go just a little further. Yeah, I don't think I'm welcome there. Yeah, I ended up getting a ticket by pulling into the courthouse. Well, the good news is if I got a ticket, I know exactly where it was. My court date, I know exactly what the location to be at. All right, let's try this. Is this a prison? Jesus. Is this a prison? I'll go from the courthouse to a prison. For those of you who are keeping score at home, this is a correctional facility. And I need to go. Alright, GoPro battery switched out. And that'll actually be enough to get me to where I'm going.